Hey everyone, welcome to Listen Love Connect. I'm Savannah Paula Fox, your host, and today's guest is Chelsea Vitek, and she used to be Miss or is still Miss
Listen
Hawaii.
Love Connect is brought to you by Exceptional Heroes.
So, Chelsea, can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Chelsea Vitek. People might know me as Chelsea Harden, which is my maiden name. That's kind of attached to the Miss Hawaii USA. And just for people who don't know pageantry, so there's the Miss Hawaii USA, which I used to be, and then Miss Hawaii. And the difference is one of them is the America, and the one I was at the USA. And so my pageant, you don't need a talent. That's the biggest difference. Yeah, so Miss Hawaii USA, and that was in 2016. But a little bit about me: I'm currently married. I have a 7 month old. Crazy that he's 7 months old now, and we're living in Oregon. I moved from Hawaii to California, and we're in Oregon now. And right now, thankfully, it's a beautiful sunny day. It's been quite an adjustment moving from sunny to Oregon, right? But now I run my own online health and fitness company, and I'm just trying to be a full-time mom and figure out what that new balance is.
That's wonderful. And how'd you get into pageantry, and how long were you in it?
So pageantry was a very new and a very interesting road for me. I was a waitress in Hawaii. I was waitressing and I felt somebody staring at me. You know, when you could just feel somebody. And so I was like, okay, this for all evening, this person's been staring at me. So let me go up and talk to them. And it was this lady. She says, have you ever thought about running in a pageant? And I was like, no, thank you. Like, that's not for me. No way. There's like absolutely no way. And then I went home and I kind of laughed about it with my friend's family. But this couple is lady and her husband kept coming back. They're like, we really think you should give it a shot. So I was at the point in my life where I was done with college. I was done with volleyball and I was just kind of at home, kind of trying to find my way. So I said, what the heck? It's another challenge, right? It's something out of my comfort zone, which I like to push myself. And so it took them about 3 or 4 months of convincing. And then I said, fine, I'll do it. I'll do it if you like help me out because I don't know what to do. And so I took a leap of faith, right? And this lady who her daughter actually won Miss Hawaii USA a few years after me. She was a volunteer on the committee, so she kind of helped me form a team, and I was really very much. It was a team effort. So that was I won Miss Hawaii USA 2016 as my very first pageant ever, right? And so I have no idea what I was doing, but again, the only reason I feel like I won is because I had a team, right? And it's kind of like sports where if I was going to commit to something, I'm going to do it 100%, right? And not everyone has to do that for pageantry. Some ladies like to do it just for the experience, or like to have fun. But I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to win it, right? And so 2016, and then that summer was Miss USA. And that's kind of where I got my little claim to fame, I like to say, because that was like streaming all 80 different countries. And there's like 120 million viewers because I was on Fox at the time. And the Miss USA, that was the first year Donald Trump sold it. So it's kind of a big deal. Like, where's the pageant going to go? So that was a very transitional year. And I ended up placing first runner up at Miss
Oh, wow.
USA, which was like really, yeah, it was a big deal for me because that's technically my second pageant within 1 year,
Yeah.
right? And so I ended up getting first runner up, and that's kind of where the trajectory of my life completely changed after that. It's so cool how like one moment in your life can change everything, and then from there, that's kind of how I end up where I'm at now, kind of creating my online health and fitness coaching.
I love hearing people's journeys and stuff and how they're able to get into the things they did, like you with pageantry. Um, so pageantry sometimes has a bad rap because of the focusing on beauty and stuff. How did you maintain your mental health during all of this?
Yeah, I love this question. And you're totally right. A lot of people, your average person who might not be in the pageant world, they look at pageant, just think hair, makeup, big, right? Everything, bikini bodies. And that
Right.
very much so was the case when Donald Trump owned the Miss USA. But now the Miss USA organization is very much focused on, you know, brains and beauty. So confidently beautiful is our slogan. So with the new ownership, right? So the lady who won my year, she was actually in the military, which
Oh,
is
wow.
awesome. After that, it was a scientist. After that, it was an attorney. So they're very much focusing and trying to change the narrative. But it still gets that kind of negative connotation towards it. And when I was running, I think the biggest way I was able to maintain my mental health was finding balance. And that's one thing that I try to tell my clients, my health and fitness clients who are on a journey, whether that's to lose some weight, a lot of weight, or just to feel healthy again. It's really important to maintain balance. And thankfully, my family, well, I should say thankfully, but my family wasn't big into pageantry before, so they weren't as hardcore. So I didn't need to set as much boundaries. I'm really about boundaries, right? My personal space boundaries, what's good for my health, what fills my cup up. So thankfully I didn't have to do that. But I know a lot of ladies who their mom, dad, family, everyone is hardcore, you know, pageantry or whatever it might be. And so it was important for me to maintain balance in terms of, yes, put my energy and effort into pageantry because I wanted to go 100%, but at the same time, have that life with relationships, right? Make sure to fill my cup up with whatever personal care and health means to me, as opposed to just going 100% and ignoring all the things. And that's a lot of what are my clients. I work with a lot of moms now.
Okay.
They have very similar paths where I'm focusing on my kids, my life, my family, right? I'm the one that keeps everything together, that their health and wellness kind of gets the back burner. And we see that a lot of time ladies come to us and saying, just, I need help, guidance, and support to be able to make my health physically, mentally, emotionally, make my health a priority again. Right. And so looking back at it now, I think it was nice to have my family kind of balance me out, my relationships balance me out. And living in Hawaii, it was nice to my me time, which is on the beach by myself, right? Quiet book, so I can kind of compartmentalize. I think that was so important for me to be able to go through that journey of running for a pageant without burning out, right?
Yeah. And that's so important with everything. It's just balance, balance, balance. And I probably should have asked this first, but did you know about mental health while you were doing pageantry, or did you just make sure that you had balance between pageantry and your mental health without even knowing it?
So 2016, it wasn't as talked about as it is nowadays.
Yeah.
Even so, it wasn't as talked about, and it wasn't faux pas still, but it just wasn't a thing, and that was only 5, 6, 7 years ago. So it's really cool to see how far that narrative has come. But I think in the pageantry world, so to answer your question, no, I wasn't aware like mental health a top priority. I just knew what helped me feel good. And I did have some times where I was like overwhelmed and I had a few breakdowns because I guess I was out of balance a little bit, but that breakdown helped me realize, okay, I need to step away, right? But Chesley Christ, I think I say his last name, is a former Miss USA. And I believe it was either early this year in 2022 and it has been early this year so she's a former Miss USA. She was on Entertainment Tonight as like a news correspondent, and it looked like she had everything she wanted, an apartment in New York City, right? And she ended up committing suicide, and come to find out she was dealing with a high functioning depression, which was a huge shock to the pageantry community and entertainment industry, because it looked like on the surface this lady had everything. I get chicken skin just thinking about it. And so I think since that happened, the dialogue totally opened, and in the pageantry world at least. And now the owners of the Miss USA and the Miss Universe organization are very much like, let's talk about it. Let's normalize a conversation. And so very different from when I was running, and it wasn't a thing to be mindful of, but I think just because maybe my personal background with my family and sports, I knew that was a component for me to be able to be successful, which thankfully when the way I help my clients nowadays, that's a huge, so we have three pillars in our how we help ladies. It's nutrition, of course, so your health journey, your fat loss, movement, and the third component is mindset,
Yeah.
your mindset and where your mental space is, because we like to help ladies develop a positive relationship with, whether that be movement, whether that be nutrition, whether that be positive relationship with their bodies, right, and their self-love. And so that's a big component, and so that's why when you ask me, like, let's jump on and talk about, mental health awareness and pageantry and nutrition, I think it's all totally combined, whether someone is in pageantry or not, right?
Right. And it's good to hear that. I mean, it's sad that it took this long for the pageant industry to, it took someone's death to change it, but it's good that they did as well, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Do you have any advice for females out there, whether they're in pageantry, getting started, or just females in general?
Yeah, my advice is go for it, right? I had no idea pageantry would totally change my life, and I didn't even know really what it entails. We talked a little bit about, a lot of people think, oh, you're in a pageant, very surface level. But when you really dive into the pageantry world, you can learn there's so much more to it than just on stage, right? There's so much community service. It allows ladies to have a platform with whatever you are passionate about. For me, it was health and fitness and kids at the time, right? Because I was working with a nonprofit in Hawaii, focusing, it's called Hawaii Speed and Quickness, working with little kids or in elementary and primary school to help them learn the importance of movement and nutrition. So having a platform helped me spread the word even more, spread my cause, right? So for Miss USA, you don't necessarily have to have a platform, but everyone kind of does. At Miss America, you very much have to have a platform. It's scholarship based. And so I would say if someone's like, oh, I thought about it, do it, right? Totally do it. And now the Miss USA, they changed where you can be married, you can have had kids, which is cool because back just last year, you couldn't. You had to be single, never married, not single, never married, not divorced, no kids. And it just really, yeah, so it's changing now. It's really opening up to a lot of different types of people and backgrounds. I would say to parents for young daughters or maybe teenage daughters is making sure that they're going into a pageant with the right intentions. Some people, and it's okay some people want to maybe get this title or a title or platform for maybe more followers, right? More whatever it might be. But I think it's important to talk with your kids about, okay, what is your intention for running? Right? Why do you want to be X? Why do you want to be Miss Georgia, Miss California, Miss New York, USA, right? Why do you want to win a scholarship if that's the direction you want to go? And I think if you can be open and making sure that they have the right intentions and figuring out their why, right? I talk about this too with my health and fitness coaches. If you have a strong, solid, defined why is it that you want to lose weight? Why is it that you want to have more energy, right? I think it's important to be able to kind of have a sense of direction and steer off any of the negativity, because there will be haters, right? Of course, with everything, whether that's pageantry or that's weight loss. People are going to say, oh, you're fine, you don't need to do it, or why are you doing it? But if you have that solid, strong why with good intentions, I think it makes the path a little more clear and a little easier.
That's great. And it was so much fun talking to you, but we're not ending yet. Where are we able to find you on social media, or if you have a website?
Yeah, I love it. So I'm newly on TikTok, which has been a very fun transition. So different than Instagram. But both my handles for Instagram and TikTok are at Chelsea_Hardin. CHELSEA _ my maiden name, HARDIN. And then my website for my health and fitness company is called misfitprogram.com. MISSFIT program.com. And our Misfit program, we help moms, we help busy ladies. We only work with females. We really help ladies, whether that's a small weight loss journey, a big weight loss journey, or like I said, a lot of times moms just say, hey, it's time for me, right? It's time to put more energy back into myself, because I'm speaking from experience now that moms give a lot, right? Or whether you're in full-time school, or if you're really focused on your career, it's very easy to put our health and wellness on the back burner, and not just our physical health, but very much so our mental health, right? A lot of times we help ladies understand, okay, let's slow down. What do you need right now? And we do a lot of journaling, a lot of mindset work, a lot of reflection, a lot of goal setting to make sure that we are not only helping them in the direction they want to go, but more like a holistic approach where we're helping them really, really, truly find what makes them happy.
And all of that will be linked down below, her websites and all of that, because you need to go follow her. She's a great influence. And before we end, do you have any last words for our viewers?
Yeah, I would just say, thank you, Savannah, for what you're doing. I think it's very important to be able to talk about, mental health. And even if it might seem like, what does mental health and pageantry or health and fitness have to do? It's all so much related. So I think the more we talk about it, the more we normalize it, the more you bring on guests from all over, right? Different backgrounds, I think people can realize, okay, like if this lady can talk about it, it's okay for me to recognize my feelings and talk about maybe if you can tell something is maybe not off, but if you can tell, what am I trying to say? If you feel like you need to talk to somebody, and I feel like with what you're doing, Savannah, is making it a little easier for ladies to talk about it. Right. And maybe just using this conversation of, oh, mom, dad, I saw this conversation with this, like, right. And then I want to talk about how I feel. Just really being able to create those dialogues for everyone, because mental health, it's not going away. If anything, it's going to get more and more challenging with the distractions, right? Everything going on, the pressures, social pressure, family pressure, social media nowadays. Mm-hmm. I have a 17-year-old sister who's a senior in high school. And I remember thinking, just the other day, I'm so glad I'm not in high school right now.
Yeah.
Right. It's so different. It's so different. I didn't even have Instagram back when I was in high school. And so, yeah. And even if anybody just wants to talk, whoever's watching this, right? If you want to talk about anything, just know that like you have really good resources out there, right, Savannah, where you say, I actually respond to the ladies. I actually take the time to respond to every single person, because you know how important that is. So I think what you're doing is awesome.
Thank you. And when I reached out to Chelsea, not only did we have mutual contacts, but when I messaged her on Instagram, she responded right away. So you're a safe place to go to, Chelsea. I'm a safe place. So whoever you're comfortable with, that's the most important. Would you say that, Chelsea?
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah. Even if it's a stranger, a lot of times people tell me so much about their lives, and I say, thank you, thank you for being vulnerable with me. It helps so much to just talk about it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me and talking about this. I know it could be challenging for certain people, but it was such an important topic to talk about with the pageant industry and mental health. And it's so glad to hear that they are changing for the better.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Today we spoke to Miss Hawaii, who shared some insight on the pageant industry and mental health and how they are changing for the better. Thank you guys for watching. But wait, make sure to visit and follow these Instagram accounts. Check out my website, exceptionheroes.com, to learn more about my patent pending therapeutic device and to buy some Exception Heroes merch. See you guys next time, and always remember to listen, love, connect. Bye.